Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion and this here is my buddy Chapstick and this is Sugar Cookie. The crazy and the crazy troll nation is just enjoying your channel and enjoying the channels that you watch. And if you're nutty like me sometimes, it is okay. The troll part of the crazy troll nation is not caring too much about what the beauty community's standards are. Try not to feel like you need to use a certain brand or a certain tool or a certain technique. Use whatever you want to use and just rock it. The bottom line is loving yourself for who you are and for how you look, even without face paint on. I do curse on my channel sometimes because I do curse in real life sometimes. That in a nutshell is the concept of the crazy troll nation. That was the Fenty primer and the Fenty foundation. This is an e.l.f. buffing foundation brush. We're going to tap these two together, make a nice little something. Initially, I wasn't going to put foundation on because we're having a Swatch party. But don't you want to get dolled up for a party? I don't know. So I'm going to try and do this quick because we are going to swatch, as you know from the title, all 7 of my Mothership palettes, and I do swatches on my face. I just got in, I had a massage therapy appointment today, which means I am very relaxed. I ate breakfast before I left. I'm hungry now for lunch. I've been going a few hours because it's about a 20-minute ride if there were no traffic, but it takes me about 25 minutes to get there. So round trip, that's almost an hour. And then the massage is almost an hour. And then I stopped off at a store on the way home. Ended up not purchasing anything, which is good because Troy here been shopping a lot lately. I don't think it's been a lot when I add up the money because I have been shopping sales. But when you're getting a package like every other day, it seems like it seems like a lot. And it hasn't been every other day. I do have some stuff coming. I will do an end of the month haul. Today is March 9th and the year is 2023. So this is what we're working with. I really like this combination. It does help the foundation dry down quicker. It is a soft matte foundation, but it's like super quick, and there is still some left. So I could have done with 2.5 pumps instead of the 3. Hopefully where I'm putting that palette will not fall. I realized that I didn't swatch all of these palettes, I don't think. So if I did, bear with me, and I'm glad that you're here. The reason I wanted to do this is because Pat McGrath is a luxury brand and she hella expensive. All of these I did get on sale, either a bundle deal, which brought it down to almost like 40% off, or I purchased them during her end of year sale in 2022 when she had a 40% off sale. And so even with that though, instead of the $128 for the palette, it used to be $125 and then they went up to $128. I spent about $76, $78 per palette, which still to some people is like, oh, the hell I am paying that amount for a palette. This is my makeup trash bag. So we're going to get that ready. I'm going to have stuff everywhere. I'm going to move this mirror because I'm not going to be using this one. I just dropped the chapstick. So that's there because I need more space here because this is a lot of stuff here. And actually I'll put the bag here. So as I use the palettes, I can just sit them over here. Yes, I am always very organized before the video. Lies. So I'm trying to think of how to do this to get all 70 shades on my face because each palette is a 10-pan palette. We're going to do the best we can. So some of them may look janky. It may end up some across here, but let's just get into it. I'm going to start from the lowest number to the highest number I have. And I do have a ranking video, and I explained in that video like why I ended up purchasing that palette. And so I'm pulling out sponge tips now, and I was wondering if I wanted to use lipstick lipstick applicators. I'm running out of sponge tips, y'all, because I use them for swatches and for applying metallics and shimmers, and I realized today I need to order some more. So this is Mothership #1, which is subliminal, and I know that because I'm a label whore. I want to know what it is before I open it. I did cut the cardboard paper to fit in here that had the shadow names on it so that I won't blind you. So this is what this palette looks like. This is Skin Show Nude. I need to remember to do small so they'll fit. Skin Show Nude. We're going to do that again. Is this dry? Not quite all the way dry. I need to do smaller because we got 7 palettes to do. This is Depth. That was the same side, so I'm going to flip over to the clean side. Depth. I'm going to put that here. I'm janky already. Ultimate Taupe. And we're going to put that here. And this is Pale Gold 002. I initially purchased the sponge tips for the celestial shades. The first 3 Motherships, I think these 4 here, the celestial shades, were baked, and so it's a different formula than Motherships 4 and up. And this is VR Violet. I am sweating. I have on 2 shirts. This is that shade. And that one, it is a dual chrome. You can even see here how that shade is shifting. So that is that one. And the reason I'm putting them this way instead of up and down is so that if it was a shifty shade, you would be able to see it. So you do see the 2 different colors there. This is Extreme Black, and this is in the first 3 Motherships. I was thinking if I should go down now, but I'm not sure if one of these, actually I think these may be shifty. This one is Lilac Dusk. I wanted to do this because I know I completely realized just now I never finished that sentence. She's hella expensive, and I wanted you to see the shades. This is Substance, so that if you had something similar, you could maybe just kind of dupe out the palette a little bit. That looks like a grayish green to me. That's this shade here, and I do really like that shade. And what I found personally, this is Blitz Blue. This creases on me every time I use it because I do take my lid shades up into the crease and the transition area. It creases every single time, and I've heard other people say it creases on them too. But this is what that looks like. I have found Astral White that her shades that I tried to dupe with other shades in my collection, they were not dupable. That is this here Astral White. So it looks blue. So we're going to put that down here. That's Astral White. But if you have something that may be close, and so if you're like, oh my gosh, I love that color story, or I just love, you know, these 2 particular shades, and maybe the black, and maybe this one, if you have something similar in your collection, you can dupe out that vibe. So that is why I'm doing this, because I've heard some people say, I would never spend $125 for a palette. And I've heard people say, even on sale for $80, I would never buy that palette. And I do get it. It is hell expensive. And if you have children at home, or if you have a significant other, or if you're caring for an ill family member or an elderly family member, gas prices are going up. I don't eat eggs. I'm allergic. I've heard the prices of eggs is through the roof, and even just trying to buy chicken. And so I know there's other things to spend money on than an $80 palette. But I wanted, again, for you just to be able to see these shades, to see if you wanted to try. I just dropped that applicator. If you wanted to try and dupe out some of the vibes. This is a nice look right there. This one is Mothership #2 Sublime. I do not have the paper in here for whatever reason. I didn't think to cut it when I had this palette, and so I have labels here of what the shades are. So how can I do this? I can do it like that, I think. This is Skin Show Glow. This is heavy. Oh my gosh. Nikki Raven, she's like, this is a palette you keep on your nightstand because you can use it to kill a bitch. That's exactly what she says in her videos. And I'm like, she right. And so that is that shade. This is copper toned. This one here. And I still have in my mind to do looks with the Motherships again, because I have a video, one look each palette, all in one video. So it's like 7 looks, one video. But I'm going to redo looks. That's a nice combination. This is bronze. No, wait, where am I? Skin Show Glow, copper toned. This was Iconic Bronze. That's this one. No, it's just called Iconic. This is Iconic. This is called Bronze 005. That's this one. What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, I still have in my mind to do looks and to try to grunge out the Pat McGrath palette. And this is VR Nectar, this shade here, because this, I just keep seeing like the same types of looks. And even though that does look, I'm seeing gold right now, and I know you're seeing pink. And so this is that. So let's put it on here since I ran out of space. And so that is that shade. And again, I am still seeing gold right here. And if you look in the mirror, this is what I see. I see this shade. I see that gold, and down here is pink. So this is a shifty shade, even though I'm not really seeing. When I turn this way, I see the gold, but in a way I don't, because I have a golden undertone, and so it blends in with my undertone. So that might be why it's not noticeable to me, but you can clearly see in here, it's gold up here, and then it's pink down here. And even this way you see it's golden, and then you see the pink. This is, I'm not gonna, yeah I am, let's just still do it. This is Extreme Black. So we already know what that looks like. And this is dark. Is it though? We shall see. So this shade is dark, and it is. This one is Rose Dusk. Was I finished with my sentence? I want to grunge out her palettes because the looks I see are the typical looks using, and there is a, on her website, there is a structure to her palettes. This is, let me get it right, Blitz Emerald. And this I'm seeing purple. If you look up here, you can see it's purple right here. And down here is green. So this is a dual chrome type shade too. And I'm seeing the purple. Some angles I see, okay, there's the green, and then it's purple, this shade right here. Green, purple. So that's the one we're swatching next. And I am also going to talk about the structure of each of her palettes, because there is a method to the non-madness. So that is that shade. I don't know if you can see purple this way because I can't see that way, but that is this shade. This one here is Ghost Orchid. This one here. So we're going to swatch. This one feels, oh, it's chunking up. Let me put it back together. The way I swiped it, it started chunking. So I'm just patting it back in. And this is a chunky shade. And again, this is this one. It looks white, but on here you see it looks pink. And so we are just going to put this way. Try and keep this palette together. So this is very much a topper. It is not a shade. Very much a topper. And when I use the sponge tips with these, I don't get a lot of fallout, and I get it exactly where I want it to go. So this is Mothership II, Sublime. Mothership I, Subliminal. Mothership II, Sublime. So if you're seeing something you want to try to dupe, if you want to dupe a gold with a taupey shade and a bold green, upper lash line, use the black. use this as a topper over maybe this shade. But this, because I like dark, and I'm trying to think, because most people I see looks with Pat McGrath, they don't do the dark shades. So put this inner corner, this on your lid, this outer corner, top this over this, and use this for upper lash line. Easy look. There you go. Our next one is Subversive. I don't have the paper for this one either, and for whatever reason, I you know what, I did have the label on it, and then the ink started to wear off, and so then I just printed it out on paper. So this looks hella just, between this and this is not a luxury palette, because this just looks janky as hell, and I know it does, but I want to know what the shades are, and for whatever reason I didn't think to cut the black paper for it to fit in here, because as it was, it did not fit inside the palette. I had to cut it to fit inside of, like, from here to here, because this raises up, whatever, all of that stuff. This is Skin Show Fever. Then I got to get creative on where we're going to put them. So Skin Show Fever. This one is Night Creature. And so the looks I see, and I think it's just typical, do sort of a skin tone in the transition, and then just a shade that's a little bit deeper for your crease. This is Deep Shade. And then put a shimmer on the lid and something sparkly, shiny for inner corner. That's what I usually see. And I want to do something different. This is Gigabyte. This one I tried to dupe out, and even layering other shades, I was not able to dupe this shade. This is Gigabyte. That is gorgeous. And so I want to just really do something different. VR Pink here. It looked orange to me. That's why I was thinking it was this one. This looks, you can see it vaguely up here because I have this like gorgeous label here, but you can see up here it looks orange, and down here it looks pink. And I'm seeing pink looking where you're seeing, sorry to poke in the eye, but when I look over here, I see orange. So that's what threw me off. And so this is a dual chrome shade as well. I'm gonna run out of face space. So that is that shade. Interesting. Again with a stream black. Just taking up space on my face because we already have it in other palettes. This one is Lazarus. So I want to just grunge out her palettes, and the reason why I'm going to do that is for those of you who do like the dark, smoky, swamp water looks. This is black metal. And you want to try Pat McGrath, but you're looking at it like, I'm not going to get the vibe I want. I want to show you that you can get a different vibe from her palettes. And so I'm hoping those looks work when I do them. And I know this is really janky going down my chin. So that's Lazarus. And I need another sponge tip. This one is Blitz Amethyst. I'm not going to keep going down my neck because that is just freaking ridiculous. That's a dual chrome. And you see here how it's turning from blue to purple. That is this shade right here. And we are going to put that up here. So you see the purple this way, and then when you turn, you see the blue. I don't know what it looks like this way because I see a wall. And the last shade in this palette is Astral Ghost Orchid. This is a topper. I can tell because it feels the same way that the other shade in this same spot felt. And I'm seeing white, and it's showing pink. Please don't get in my eye. So we're going to put that here. So this is very much like this shade. And it is chunking up. And so I'm liking the sponge tip with this because I don't get fallout. So that is that shade. It does show up a little more than this one, but it's the same kind of vibe, whereas there, barely there is the topper. So this right here is Mothership #3 Subversive. I'm looking at, where was oh, that was Gigabyte. I'm going to say where was Gigabyte because I was thinking something looked similar to it, but it's not, because that one is deeper. And even if you're seeing shades that you can put together, because even if you put like this, I guess transition shade with a light hand, put this on the second half of the lid, put this on the first half of the lid, or for inner corner, that would be a nice look too. And so as you're seeing this, and this can be your transition shade, so as you're seeing all the colors, try not to think of it as, okay, this is just a palette, because my whole face is going to be painted by the time we're done. Try not to think of this is just a palette, or this is just a palette. As you're seeing different shades, think about what you have in your collection and what you can put together to get the kind of look that you want. And it goes to my intro. You don't need a particular palette. As much as people say, oh, you have to have this or that, you don't. You can just put stuff together however you want to. And I don't mind extreme black being in the first three, because I can use it to deepen the outer corner, or for upper lash line, or lower lash line, or whatever. And so these are what we have so far. We have 4 more to go. This is number 4, which is Decadence, and this palette, the entire palette is metallic, and this is what it looks like, and it's the only one that smells like vanilla, and I am seriously running out of sponge tips. So all the ones I have over here at my station, I am going to put over here where I am, so I don't have to keep doing what I'm doing now and reaching over. And I'm hoping I have enough for the rest of these palettes. I do have some in a container, but I just want to kind of keep going, because I know this video is going to be long. I appreciate you for being here. This one is Gold Standard, and going to put that there. This one is Inferno. That's there. Blue Blood. I know she has some 6-pan palettes that some of these shades were in. I can't speak to whether it's the same formula or not. This is Sinful. And these for me are true to pan. This is Underworld. I think it was Julia, what is her channel name? We did a collab. She had, I think it was a 6-pan. This is Sterling Pat palette, 5-pan, but those shades were in here. And so we did a collab doing a look. She didn't have this palette, but the one she did have had the same exact shades. And so that worked out really well. Again, I can't speak to the formula. I like this. This doesn't crease on me. This one does. But it looks, this looks a little turquoisey compared to this one. This to me is just a deep royal blue. But I am liking that. It's reminding me of a shade from Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. And I think it might have been Enigma. Don't quote me on that. Did I say what it was? That was Lapis Luxury. Lapis, L-A-P-I-S, Luxury. I like that shade. This one is Divine Mink. Let me know if this is helpful to you, even just looking at the different colors. This is Hedonistic. This looks orange, like a blood orange, but then it looks red. And I didn't think about it, so I put it on here, and I'm like, that's not what it looks like in the pan. So here I'm seeing the orange, and then I'm seeing the red. Where are we going to put you? We're just going to squeeze that right here. And we have one more for this palette. And this is Enigma, this shade here. I have used this palette on its own for looks, even though it's all metallic. And I did those looks on purpose, not using any other palettes, to show you, you don't always necessarily have to have a transition shade. Because for me, some of these blend out into mattes. This one blends out into a matte, and even this blue, no, this blends out to me into a matte. So does this one, and this one as well, this burgundy-ish tone. And so I did those looks, and I think I said in those videos, you don't necessarily need to have mattes unless you just want to. And because some people, they've never used this without pulling mattes from other palettes. But again, as I said, the typical way I've seen looks is, you know, transition shade, a matte transition shade, a matte crease shade, and then a matte outer corner, and then a shimmer on the lid. And so I'm really hoping, this is Bronze Seduction number 5, that I'm helping you to think more about just palettes in general and the color stories. This is Skin Show Divine Glow. Where am I going to do this? We're going to start here. And hopefully I can fit all of this here because I have 2 more after this one. This one is Entrapment. I'm hoping this is entertaining as well, because who just puts shadows over like their entire face? This is Bronze Blaze. This is one of her more popular palettes, and I think it's because it's basic. Like, it's hard to go wrong. Like, even just these 3 tones, it's hard to go wrong creating a look with that. This is Rose Gold 005, and as I'm swirling, it's chunking up, and so I'm just pressing it into the sponge tip so it doesn't flake around the pan. And this is what that looks like. So to me, this is what I think people would consider an everyday palette, because you can just pick it up and use it on any day for any occasion. This is VR Fire Opal. This is a duochrome, because you see this? That doesn't look like that. From this angle, it just looks like a tan. But as you turn it, and that there is what I saw on here when it looked this way. And I'm like, that's not what that's looking like. And this is helpful for me too, because I don't always swatch shades. I very seldom swatch shades before I use it. And so I look at this and be like, oh, that's a tan, and put it on. And I'm like, okay, wait, okay, now I just messed up the look because this don't go with nothing else I did. This is Extreme Aubergine. And it is extreme. Oh. I love it. Y'all know I love me with some darkness in my look. This is Guilty Pleasure. And guilty is spelled G-I-L-T-Y here. So this is a different type of guilty. So this is what that looks like. I'm going to swatch that again and come this way this time. That's what that looks like. This is Disobedient. And let's just do it this way. So you see what I mean with this palette. It's very much just... And I'm sure you could go wrong with it, but I doubt it. This is Blitz Blaze. And this is Fiery. This is very smooth. And we have one more for this palette. And this is Astral Luna Gold. And you see it looks white. So we're going to see what it really looks like. This is a topper also. And I can tell because it feels like this shade and it feels like this one, and it's looking kind of greenish. Again, that's this shade. Let's see if it changes. No, but on here, that's this shade. So I'm gonna put that here. Oh, I didn't even have the sponge tip part on my face. So that is that one. So this one is very much a topper. And if I wanted to, I thought about using this one, and this one to top one of the ones in that palette for you to see it. But then I think that would just prolong the video, because I could easily just be like, let's put it here and see what happens. But that's what looks are for. Like, hey, let's experiment. Put this here and see what happens. And so we will do those another time. We have 2 more palettes to go. We only have almost 30 minutes. So this isn't as long as I thought, which is great. Midnight Sun. Mothership VI. And the label's on here. Y'all know what? Because I'm sleepy, I'm hungry, I feel relaxed from the massage. I have a paper of a look to do. I have a sticky with a look to do. Yeah, priorities, right? I'm sleepy and hungry, and we're doing videos. Skin Show Moon Glow. That is this one. This is so smooth. I'm going to start here. That's true to pan. This one is Bronze Blitz. I don't know why this one is not more popular. This is one of my favorites because it's so different. Like when you look at this color story, it has that murky swamp water-ish kind of look that I like. And I think it's because of these two, this one, this, and even mixed with, well, actually the whole palette, except these two really. Minus these two and minus this one, this is a murky palette, and that's why I love it so much. This is Vermilion Venom, this shade here, and that's what that looks like. I'm looking to see if it looks like something else, and it kind of doesn't, because this is more orangey. And now I'm looking at like this one and that one. But we're not going to get into comparisons because there are differences. Even if there's similarities, there are differences. And I do like that about her Motherships, is where this is Blood Moon 005. When you get one, it's not like, oh, it looks like that one. Unless you're getting, I think, like Divine Rose 2, and then Utopian Dream. Those three, I'm just like, why is she putting out the same stuff? This is this one, and I don't have any of those because I'm not the pink mauve-y type. And for me, even if I was, like, one of those would be enough. I don't need 3 palettes that, to me, look the same. This is Jubilee. This one is smooth. This one here is chunky. That's the chunky monkey. This one is smooth. And so I really love that about it. That's what that looks like. Is it shifty? I think it's just the tone of it is just blending into my skin tone. That was this one here. We're going to come down here. This is Extreme Dusk. So not extreme black, but extreme dusk. Extreme black, extreme black. One of these is extreme black, and this is extreme dusk. So it's not much different. It looks different in the pan. The other ones did look black. This looks like a really deep, dark smoke gray. And as you blend it out, it's almost like a deep purplish. But it can pass for a black if you just wanted to use it to deepen up another shade. This is Taboo. Why did I say that way? That's nice. I'm not liking how my swatches are tapering off. And I know it's because of how I'm doing it, because I am the only one doing it. This is Wicked Envy. This is so smooth. Oh, that's gorgeous. And if you wanted to do a monochromatic look, something similar to this, something similar to this, something similar to that, and something similar to that, and there you go with a green look. This is Blitz Violet Orchid. This one is really smooth too. Oh, I just love it when, sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't see me. There's like no kick up. Well, it's a sponge tip too, but there's no kick up. It is a dual chromey type shade in a way, because you see where you can tell where I swirled in it. And it looked like that when I first got it. And I wrote in saying, you know, I think this was Swatch. And they're like, no, that's just how it settled. And they were right, because here you see blue where I swatched it, well, where I swirled in it, and the outskirts of it still looks purple. And looking at videos, and even on Centalia.com, that's how all this shade looks. What is that? Blitz Violet Orchid. And every palette I seen, it looked like it had that little bubble of blue in the middle. But that is just really how it is. So it looks like a deep purple here, and then like a bluish purple type something or other there. All right. Oh, whew, I'm getting tired. Astral Solstice, and this is kind of chunky. It's not as chunky as this one here, but swirling in it is chunky. So I'm just pressing it into the sponge tip. This is the chunkiest monkey in this palette. This is the second chunkiest. And you can tell from on here, this too is a topper. Same as this one and that one. And for toppers, I normally don't even use them as toppers. Let me back up here. I use them as toppers only just to use it. And my initial use of these was just over primer because I just wanted to see what it would look like on its own. And it gives a nice sheen. If you just want a sheen, if you just want to shine, it is pretty on its own. If you want to enhance another shade like this one, or this one from this palette, if you do have this palette, it will enhance that color. If you just want a barely there shine, you can just put it all over your lid and put on a brown or black eyeliner and your look is done. So that would be a simple look for the topper shades. So that is it for this palette. Let me put my little sticky notes and stuff back in here. And we will move on to our last palette, which is number 10, Moonlit Seduction. I kept it because it is what it is. Not my vibe. Like the darkness that you see, those are my vibes. But, you know. And Midnight Sun is really murky, which was number 6. So I've come to just appreciate it for what it is and not be like, oh, I don't like it. And so I kept it because it is what it is. I do like the looks I did. 2 of the looks I did look the same, even though one I topped the shade over another one. And I'm like, that just looks like this other shade without being topped. So like, what was the point? But learning to accept it for what it is. And I did like the looks. And then I thought there is a time and place to just be basic, I guess. And so that's why I did keep it. This is Skin Tense Glow. And let me stop being awkward. That's that shade. I definitely need to go on Amazon and order another pack of sponge tips. Rosewood Romantique. That's this shade. This is Platinum Dusk. I can't even say like this would be great for like a wedding because I've been to weddings where they're goth and they're just like, this would not be the palette. That's this shade. Why does that look green? Greenish gray something? That's this shade. Platinum Dusk. Huh. That doesn't look like... This here does not look like that, but that's what it is. That is interesting. I'm learning something here. I hope you guys are too. This is, oh, and it looks messy because there's like a dip in here. There's like a hole. And it's a shifty shade because here you see that color, like a greenish gray, and then it turns burgundy and red. VR Sextasy. Okay, I'm pressing and swiping at the same time. I did not want to make a mess. This shade, I remember it now. This shade, and it's flaky. Some people really like the flaky shades because they are very reflective. They do add like that high shine, that wet look. It's just messy to deal with. And if y'all been here, y'all know I don't like to use my fingers. And that would be the best way to use this shade if you didn't have sponge tip applicators, because for me the sponge tips, and if you can see that, you see, I can't even show you my face. You see that flake hanging off at the bottom? That's what you want to put on your lid, because I used to tap it off, but then it was just no color at all. And so you want that flake on you and you want to smooth it out. Like, you see that? Yeah, so y'all ain't gonna tell me I gotta use my finger. You see this? This is what you're gonna get if you use your finger. Or it might be more intense because you may just pat it on and leave the flakes on there, and it's the flakes that give it that high shine. But I'm not for the mess. And this to me is pretty the way it is, so this is what I would do. and this is what I do. And I'm still just kind of swiping. And the flakes don't always come up. It depends on how hard you press. But this is a very messy shade. But if you like that high shine, that intense, and then you want that dual chrome aspect of it, yeah, to just like scoop your finger in it and just across the lid, and you'll be like, yeah, this is fire. But this is how I do it and how I use it, because I don't want to use my finger. This is Astro Lunar Lust. This one is very soft as well, and the piece did just flake here, so I'm going to try to scoop up the flake and press it into the sponge tip. And I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. Yeah, there's a flake hanging off at the bottom. So we're gonna put the flake on and press it in. Yeah, this palette, oh my gosh, it is like chunking up, which is supposed to. It is supposed to be a flaky shade, and then you just press on the flake to get the shade. And I'm gonna keep doing this because I'm not sure it's showing up, but it may not be really showing up because of my complexion. So it does just kind of blend into my complexion. This would be nice as a topper shade as well, even though it's not technically a topper shade. Well, you use it for what you want. So yeah, it could be. Extreme Nocturne. I'm thinking this would be nice top to wear at, but we're not going to do that in this video. We're going to keep moving. Bronze Devotion. I am so comforted. Like once I use these two and then I come down to the non-chunky monkeys, I just feel so much better. I do not like the chunky monkeys. I really don't. And so I'm just like, oh, these are nice and smooth. And they are. And so those are these two shades. I know that it's just, oh, and the palette is messy. These two up here, they're pretty though. I will admit that. This is Plum Cabaret. I believe someone helped me to learn how to pronounce it, because I was saying Plum Cabernet, Cabaret, and someone said it's Cabaret. I think I was saying Cabernet. I don't know, but it's Plum Cabaret, I think. I need 2 more spots. So that's that one. That would look nice with this shade. And Blitz Venus. Oh, she chunky too, but not as chunky as this. Is the chunkiest. This one right here is the chunkiest, and this is the second chunkiest. This is smoother. Like I'm able to do this, whereas this one and that one I was not able to do that. And we're gonna put that there. And that's not really showing up on me either. So these shades are very much wanna be barely there. This shade, this one, and this, you can't see me, I apologize. This shade, this one, this, and these two are barely there on me. And one of my issues was, not even an issue, but one of my observations from my personal experience was a lack of versatility with this palette, because those 3 shades don't kind of show up. And looking at my face, it's like, it looks like there's spaces missing because those shades don't show up on me. This is the last one, Astral Lunar, no, Astral Lilac Aura. So that means this might be a purple or a lavender or a lilac, duh. This one is a smooth chunky monkey because I am able to do this, and it's chunking up, but I'm able to pat it into the applicator. People love this palette. Where's their space? Because I can't see the shade I just put down before this one. People love this palette, and it goes to what your aesthetic is. If you're someone like me and you like the dark swamp water looks, this palette is not quite going to do it for you. But again, there's a time and a place, and the looks were pretty. And I'm going to have to clean this up because this is chunky, that's chunky. These two and this one. And this one is chunky, but not chunks where it looks like it want to fall, where it wants to fall out. These two, it looks like it's ready to just start to rain. And so this is Moonlit Seduction Mothership 10. That's what this is. And you see what I'm saying with some of the shades just being flat out toppers. Like even though this is a topper, you can look at and tell if you put it on top of primer all over your lid, it's going to show up where some of these won't. And it may just be my complexion because there are some shades that do just kind of blend in if they're warm toned or neutral tan shades and they're the lighter tan shades, they will just kind of blend in. And even though this one isn't quite a tan, because of my undertone, you see how it's there but then it's not there. Talking about this one right here. You see what I mean? And so anyway, these are my 7 motherships. Let me know what you think of this video. Hey, my nose and my chin and under my nose is blank. Do I want to put something there? Do I want to put something atop it? No, because we're at 45 minutes and I appreciate you being here for this long. And so I'm going to go. Let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know if you think you will try to dupe out some of the shades to create like your own custom palette look type thing. Yeah, because that's what I really want you guys to really see. You know, I've heard people say I don't watch luxury channels because I don't use, you know, luxury brands. And I'm doing this and moving slow so you can see the colors. And I think it's unfortunate because even if you don't use that brand, it is about the colors and not even that particular color story for that palette, but just the colors individually. Like, do you have certain shades that you see in someone else's palette and you're like, I really like that shade, and then you go look in your collection, you may have something similar. Or if you see, you know, like I'm saying, you know, if you want a monochromatic green, here's a green, there's a green, there's a green, there's a greenish, there's a greenish. You know, you can look at different shades and just put together what you want to put together. So I'm really hoping this is helpful. Let me know. And if you're looking forward to seeing me try to grunge out these palettes, let me know that too. And because that will make me even more excited to do those videos, because I do want to do them, but I also want you guys to enjoy being here and to see what I'm doing. And that will be it. That will be it. That will be it for this video. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm hoping this gives you a new view of when I use Pat McGrath's palettes, if you don't have any, and if you know deep down you never buy one, to just check out the colors and see what you can do. So thank you. As always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way, along with having an awesome friggin' swatch party. You will see me soon. Thank you so much.